Hello everyone! Welcome to the match in round of 16 Oceania 7K World Cup between Japan and Poland. What an exciting match we're gonna be having today because I'm just gonna say this. Both countries have a very good history on the 7K scene. We know Japan for having really good rosters in general, and right now is certainly no joke with the players that they are having in the roster. Definitely happy to see who they have prepared as of this moment. Poland's roster is certainly no joke as well. Having Bagietka, the Dark Dragon, like those players certainly are experienced and very good as well in the tournament scene. Though, before we get into the match, I forgot to introduce ourselves. I'm Soloas Kaels, and joining me in the commentary is going to be Serve285. Hello, how are you doing?
Indeed, what an exciting match waiting for us for our very first match this weekend. Also, who is Soloas Kaels? I only know Bulma Gamer PH76.
Alright, I forgot about that. Yeah, I am Bulma Gamer Page 76. Thank you so much for the reminder, Serve285. But then again, I will say we do have an interesting match here, like I keep on saying a while ago, because man, I did mention how these two have a history of being good at 7K in general. It's really just, in many ways, going to be an interesting match.
Well, for Team Japan, we have some very vital additions here. The most notable name, I think, like those who are more familiar with the 7K scene have been super excited to see Botanic finally make their MWC debut on this match. Obviously, Rain Lily and Ensana are carryovers from the 2023 squad, and which, by the way, came fourth place in last year's tournament. If my notes are correct here, Shanakis is the newest member in their squad. Meanwhile, Poland returning in this year, having no team in 2023 though. And it's actually pretty nice to see their team captain, the Dark Dragon, actually coming back from injury. I think that was like one of the reasons why Poland didn't really have a team from last year. Bagietka and Bijek, no slack at all. Though I think, at least on paper, we might be seeing more of the Dark Dragon and Bagietka carry the flag here for the Polish.
Yeah, I mean, those two players certainly who we'd be expecting to be the front runners of this matchup. Though we will be looking at the bans right now. I missed what Japan protected, but I do see Poland protecting Hybrid 1. It's just interesting. The Poland is opting for the Rice 1 ban, which is Taromi Hearts 2. See, in the 4K scene, Taromi Hearts would be like your jump stream pick. I'm not sure what this would be in the 7K scene though.
Well, it's assigned as RC1. I mean, unlike a pretty recent tournament, slot pooling is not yet. It's still a thing here in 7K. RC1 is actually our general speed pick, and I think it's a very good ban here coming from Poland. I mean, Japan. Again, just to clarify, like the top 8 teams or the qualifiers are making their debut this World Cup this weekend, and since this is Japan's first appearance, I think we might as well mention that they did qualify as 5th seed in this tournament, as you see here on Steam. Now, I want to say Poland had a very good ban here, mostly because Japan topped the qualifier, the speed qualifier. Yeah, their overall best score, and I think their roster is practically the reason why they carry 2 of the best Rice players in the entirety of Oceania. I mean, Botanic also very well known to be pretty cracked outside on other VSRGs or vertical scoring rhythm games. Japan is expected to be leaning more towards the right side of the pool, and Poland will be countering most likely with the LNs and the hybrids, as we see Japan picking Memory at Angel's Landing or General Court Stream pick.
You know, it's interesting to talk about Japan being really good at Rice, because I see Poland banning Rice You said Rice 1, right? And then Japan did protect Rice 3, which I believe is one of the more core, is the core jack pick, right?
Yes, it is our core jack pick. And honestly, with the teams that we're seeing that are going to be debuting this weekend, oh boy, the core jack pick, we're going to see maybe a few 990k scores. Well, we'll see. Now, anyways, as we are about to start the first short of this match, Team Poland, just a review on how they went here to this round. They defeated Estonia 5-0. I hope I remember my two-digit country codes correctly.
Well, that's good to know. But right now, so the pick is Memory at Angel's Landing, which is Rice 2. So this is your chord stream pick. I think you did mention that. And I can tell why they pick a chord stream map, even though this is something that Poland should theoretically be comfortable with physical wise, doesn't really mean the ceiling for them is going to be as high as Japan's. Because you can see right now, due to how comfortable it is, Japan can really just play it very accurately and precisely with a double 99.9, while Poland, though they are maintaining the full combos, those accuracies are just not high. Wait a second, what just happened?
Really kind of dropping to below 99.9. Like imagine saying that, dropping below 99.9. Poland is actually carrying accuracies that you would expect a lot of more of the higher seeded teams carry in a chord stream pick here. Botanic with that 99.95, I think that's already quite mentioned. Ringley, as you mentioned, unfortunately finding a drop, but the accuracies is starting to pull that advantage back to the Japanese side. Poland might need a few more drops somewhere to possibly have a more comfortable lead.
It's ridiculously close though, and right now we're reaching the most comfortable section. And wow, this difference, it's essentially nothing. Like if Japan finds a 200, or two of them, it's really gonna go back to Poland. But the accuracy that Japan's is having right now, Rain Lily still above both Batietka and the Dark Dragon, because of how comfortable it is really. Like the thing about comfortable picks like this is that it's very easy for you to gain accuracy, but that's also the reason why it's so easy for Poland to make a run if you make a mistake, because of how easy it is for you to be able to hit these notes.
Well, as we're now in the final section of the start where the partner just gets just a little bit abrasive, and Japan is starting to pull away with their accuracy, and the Dark Dragon's miss, I think, will be sealing the deal here.
Yeah, it just kind of puts the nail in the coffin. Like, ratio alone, you can already tell there's a difference. But look at the total here. We have a 1:10 200 count difference in total. Literally, Japan only has 1 200, while Poland has 10 times of that. Not saying that Poland's team score isn't good, it's ridiculously good, and I think it's going to go toe to toe with a lot of the countries here. It's just Japan's score as a whole is just very balanced.
I mean, like think of it this way. The Polish team score that we see right now, I think might be. I'm not sure. One of my predictions is that this might be one of the higher scores that we'll be seeing this weekend. And I think like if Poland had like a different opponent, this could have gone differently, I think.
It really could have, but there's not really much time to think about the points that you could have won, and instead you gotta try and catch up. So we're going for an Ellen density chart. So Poland really trying to go for Japan's weaknesses. And looking at the qualifier run that they both had, both Japan and Poland, the one map that Poland had an advantage on was, I believe, LN2, which is mixed LN. And that's gotta be one of the picks where they really have to try and take advantage of. So starting off with an LN density pick kind of makes sense to me, but if the OE isn't high, and in this case I don't think it's exactly high indeed, then Japan can definitely make a run. But this is one of Poland's better chances in my opinion.
Indeed, but now we are seeing Rain Lily and Sana going into this pick, Insana, if you guys remember from the previous World Cup, Insana is actually one of Japan's, I'd say, more of their noodle main player, alongside, if I'm not mistaken, Suzuha. Though, unfortunately, we're not seeing Suzuha this World Cup. I
Indeed.
thought I, but I think with Japan's team composition right now, I think they should be able to keep this competitive, a very competitive chart. But what Poland really needs right now is to just nail that consistency and be able to get through this chart unscathed. Like, as one might say, you might want to keep this chart boring per se, like very straightforward, be consistent, and try to push that accuracy as much as possible. I would think as well.
Accuracy is certainly going to be a major component as to how you're going to be able to win your points here. But that consistency factor is going to, in my opinion, really dictate how this map is gonna go. Because I know Baghetka and the Dark Dragon are going to be really good at LN accuracy, but Japan's consistency is certainly no joke. And like, if you think of it this way, Poland missed on the density section of the previous one, while it seems like Japan's one miss was on the earlier sections. So it tells me one thing. On the harder sections, I think Poland's gonna probably have a little bit of a more difficulty. Because those mistakes on the easier stuff, it usually is an indication of probably distraction or something like that.
Um, seems like we're just waiting for the mat for this chart to start. Does appear that we might be seeing someone using mirror. I think in this in this match. Also, by the way, for those who are watching Oceania for the first time, like, the mirror mod essentially is what it is. Basically, it flips the chart. Those nodes at column 7 will be put at column 1, column 6 to column 2, and so on. Doesn't really change the difficulty. Like, if you're one of those players, like, usually you play mirror if you perceive a chart has having like a certain one hand bias that doesn't really favor your play style. And we are seeing a fully mirrored match here. Both Japanese players actually carrying mirror mod.
That's kind. That's honestly cool. Like, you get to see how the match is on two ways. Though that being said, it doesn't really matter unless you have a map mind block. Because usually the mirror mod isn't only just used when there's a hand bias, it's also used when you play, let's say you play a map too much and you sort of had a pattern that you sort of quote unquote memorized a little bit too often, that you forget how it's really supposed to work. So I can definitely see why mirror is used by the Japanese side right now. That being said, accuracy clearly goes to Poland right now, not to mention the consistency as well, Brainly finding a drop. But I can't really blame them, these slow LNs could really be tempting to release.
Well, that's kind of like the allure of these early game LN density charts. Like, if you're a Rice player, you're usually able to keep up with this. The only thing that you really need to be super careful of are the LN releases. Like, you kind of have to hold those notes a bit longer than you would usually do. And we're kind of seeing that both Polish players actually carrying higher accuracies than their Japanese counterparts, and with that, like, Poland is just starting to pull away.
Yeah, I mean, I do see
Every
events
Mhm.
like before we continue on to your point, I'm just noticing right now that Ensana's consistency on these density sections indicates to me that they're certainly able to keep up with the Polish side in that regard, but they're just not able to have that precision that Poland has. The fact that Rain Lily has the higher act is really concerning to me.
Well, this chart is actually pretty difficult to act in a way. Yeah, OD6 is actually pretty lenient, but it's your usual standard, I'd say, 7k LN OD setting that you usually put in. And like, while there's that leniency, like, you have to be super careful. Like, these patterns, while comfortable, are still super tricky to maintain your accuracy on. And we're seeing that with Poland finally tying this match up.
Just like
Also,
that.
By the way, before I forget to mention, and somebody in the Maple team should be able to correct me on here, should be able to confirm. Rain Lily is playing on a BMS controller. Like one of the few players in this World Cup in the roster who is playing on a BMS controller. Might as well mention that.
Honestly, I think I can agree with me at this, Surf, but how does one play LNs on a
I mean, not
BMS
not to
controller?
BMS controller, to the X controller. There we go.
There we go, 2DX controller, okay.
Correction, correction.
But still, how do you play LNs on a 2DX controller? That's insane to me. But then again, Japan ripping off the band-aid, going straight to Wave Tapper. I think this is a good decision actually, because you really want to try and secure the points. Because right now we have a match, Poland striking back at Japan with a stronger lead. Like we saw 9K on Japan's side, while Poland had like a 20,000 point lead. So maybe Japan's trying to balance it out. That being said, though, it could easily backfire if Poland's core jack consistency is around the same as Japan's. And let's
It
say
could be.
some mistake happened.
It could be, but like like just this is like one of the charts I'm super excited to look at, especially for like the higher level players because the accuracy here is going to be it's going to be nuts.
There's no SV here, right, Surf?
No SB,
You know
no
what I'm talking
SBs
about,
on the
right?
7K World Cup. But I know very well that this is famous on 4K for having a pretty nifty SB chart. But this is a core jack pick on the 7K World Cup. No SBs to think about.
Alright, that's good, that's good. But yeah, look at this right now. Everyone's accuracies are almost the same. What makes this
99.9.
99.9 is all across the board. The lowest in this lobby is Bagietka at 99.85. Tatar Dragon matching Green Lily's accuracy, but Botanic's advantage against Bagietka is just notably higher. And that I think is a massive difference considering how everyone's performing. It only looks like 3K on paper, but with how everyone's doing so well, this is actually a bigger lead than it looks.
Well, the thing is, the most exciting part here is if any of these players are able to carry these accuracies as the chart becomes dense. We're actually seeing both Raylily and Botanic carry 99.98. This is pretty nuts. Both
Ray
players
Lily's
actually haven't.
wait,
Wait, 99.99!
Ray Lily's act is increasing, everyone. And man, the Polish team has been doing so well despite the density of this chart. What is Japan doing though?
Well, here's the thing. Like, the Polish accuracy you're seeing right now, this is like one of the best ones we'll be getting, like, on paper. But how do you find a team that's getting 99.99, 99.98?
For a moment, Botanic's act was at 99.99. What is going on? Yeah, okay.
This is act.
Both teams, man. Both teams have been popping off. I think at the very minimum, this has to be a double 199, right? Like a double 199 team score. This keeps up. The Dark Dragon finding some grades though. Wait, no. I think that was just a rush of 300s, which is not good.
Yeah.
But, man, everyone's acting this so well. No misses yet so far, despite the density. Oh my goodness.
My heart is actually pumping right now. I mean, I think we might be seeing single-digit 300s from both Rain Lily and Botanic at this rate. Like, both are getting 99.99. And like,
I'm so nervous right now. Both teams still consistent despite the burst. Nothing's changing. Oh, here we go.
Oh.
What?
Okay. 198. All right.
Let's see. 30 and 24. 30 and 24. Oh my god. And wait, we see. What?
Oh, those. Wow, the Dark Dragon's ratio was actually very good as well. Like, unfortunately, those 350s. I think those are the judgments you saw from earlier, like just a small rush. Bagietka, only 1-200. Like, these scores are absolutely nuts. But what are Rain Lily and Botanic doing? This isn't the 4K World Cup. This isn't the 4K World Cup. What are you doing?
I have no idea what's going on. But can I just say Bagietka and the Dark Dragon did absolutely amazing. Like, I think that was 150 something perfects on Bagietka. That's absolutely insane. Like the amount of coordination that's required to perform on a map like this with that amount of consistency. It's really nice to see. And the Dark Dragon holding on to the FC despite those 50s. Really good effort from them. Honestly, this match, both teams have been popping off so hard.
Actually, I haven't used this term in a while. Like, those are 30 misses and 24 misses respectively. Like,
Uh-huh.
if you have that act that high, we call those misses. The three goal 300 is misses.
That's
If you
true.
act that high,
Alright,
yeah.
that's true. That being said, if I'm not mistaken, sir, Poland did protect a hybrid, which I find an
They did.
interesting move. Because,
They
yeah,
did
they're
protect Invoke, yeah. There you go.
answering a protect with their own protect. Interesting strategy. Because think of it this way, okay? If they're really trying to establish that they are the better team, they would want to try and go for the mentality, okay, you guys went with your protect, we're going with ours. And Poland is doing exactly that right now. That being said, I really hope that they are aware of how Japan is going to do here, or at least they have a map planned out. Uh, Because Poland's certainly going to score well. But wait a minute, is Botanic actually going to play the hybrids?
Botanic is definitely playing the start where your eyes are not deceiving you. Actually, no substitutions for both of these teams. Anyways, about the chart, since this is the first time we're seeing this on stream, basically unlike what we had from the round of 24, this hybrid chart, again, this is hybrid one, our general hybrid pick. It does change up a bit. Like, there's a few things. It's not really that chord streamy in a way. Well, it does play like a chord stream. It's just not the same as what we had last week, where you're basically streaming all the way around. Like here, you're introduced to a few more complicated patterns, which both of these teams are negotiating very well.
That being said, Poland does have a slight advantage. I think it's or
Well,
well,
Bagietka,
sorry.
unfortunately, good one.
Yeah. But yet, unfortunately, finding that, I have a feeling that was a lag spike or something like that. But that being said, that's a huge advantage onto the Japanese side. They really have to hope some mistakes happen there. And
Well, there you go.
what am I doing? Okay,
Your
anyway,
curse is on point right now. Anyways, let's carry on with Rain Lily is still carrying at 99.6. The Dark Dragon actually matching both Rain Lily and the Dark Dragon are matching each other's accuracies very well. Trade of misses from Botanic and Bagietka, but like what we saw earlier, Bagietka actually finding a very bad rush on an LN stream, which is kind of making the score gap between these two teams pretty big.
that being said though, Botanic finding two misses in a row, and Poland being really consistent right now, certainly going to be helping them. Rain Lily really has to hold on. But these long notes and rolls are certainly not friendly to any extent. The lead is sort of shrinking a little bit, but time is running out a lot. And while the Dark Dragon is matching Rain Lily very well, Botanic's advantage is extremely large.
Bagetta is actually slowly climbing to a 99% accuracy, and I think at this rate they should be able to get to the 99%. But if you're Poland, you're kind of hoping for a massive meltdown between these two players, which I don't see happening.
And just like that, a breakpoint happened, but I don't think it. I really have a feeling it's not what would have supposed to happen. Like that keyboard issue was very unfortunate onto Bagietka. Though I will have to say
Though
this.
it counted for 16 misses. That's really unfortunate. Like look at that
It,
ratio. Actually, both of them, Bagetta and the other Dragon, kind of keeping up with each other.
it's just very unfortunate. Like I have a feeling if that lag spike or something happened or whatever keyboard issue did happen, it really could have been Poland's point. Because like it seemed like they were both super consistent on that map. But wow, Brain Lily and Botanic I just noticed it's the exact same play, but Botanic has 8 less 300s and 2 misses.
Now it's time for Japan to make a campaign to get that match point, a very important match point. And I would presume they should be going for any of these two remaining rice picks, 9 dump or New York back.
That being said, though, at least for the Polish side, let's say this goes to match point. I don't think they should be that discouraged because if you think about it, 4-1 is really just one break point behind.
It is, and Japan is going for RC5 or mixed rice pick, and arguably, like as I mentioned during the Mapo showcase last weekend, RC5 is one of those picks I kind of foresee that the higher seeded teams will be picking. Like since it's pretty physical, and we kind of see Japan starting to flex their muscles in this match.
Well, I mean, Res 5, at least when we're looking at it on face value, it does have a higher OD. And the thing about higher OD is like, at least for me, in the 7K scene, higher OD probably favors those with higher physicality in general. And I can see where you're coming from when you say the higher teams probably have an advantage there.
And we're immediately opening this pick with a 99.98 from Botanic here. Well, it's lowering, but still a 90. Yeah, it's pretty high. Let's just put it that way.
It's still high.
It's still pretty high. Both Polish players actually carrying very high accuracies as well. Might as well mention that though both Megeta and the Dark Dragon's accuracies are relatively lower than both Japanese players' accuracies, but with basically with any mania match it is between players that can get some accuracy out of the charts relatively well. Like full combos are still very very close. Like you're like most likely a miss or two from one of these players will be shifting the momentum to the other side.
I mean, that being said, tacticality is really evidently on the Japanese side right now. But there's still so many parts of this map where players can make a mistake. We have a core jack part right now mixed with burst. And the thing about core jacks is they're easy to get 50s on. We did see a couple of 50s on the Dragon side in the core jack a while ago. But right now it doesn't look like to be as dense, but it has more of these grace notes and streams, which are just going to add to the challenge.
Well, again, this is a mixed rice pick. You kind of have to see those a bit more of those technical-ish patterns as well. Like those are actually pretty hard to get accuracy on, and we actually saw all four players just lower their accuracies just a tad bit. But the final quarter of this chart is relatively more straightforward, and we should see a pretty nice run between all of these players who, notably, all of them are carrying full combos.
Yeah, it's crazy to me because even though this is the easier part of the chart, you're still seeing some burst and horde streams in there, which just, well, never mind.
Well, never mind, yeah. But Botanic and Bugetta carrying the only full combos left on their respective teams, but I don't think those are the misses is going to affect anything as Japan reaches match point and Botanic only won 200. Wow.
Not to
All
mention
right.
not to mention that ratio is just far ahead of everyone in the lobby. Like even far ahead of Rain Lily. That's like, I think that's just 2 times or maybe a little bit more than 2 times better.
Now the ball is on the Polish side of this match. And they are going for Hybrid 3, the hardest of the... According to the map pool showcase notes that were given to us in the commentary booth, arguably the hardest chart in this entire pool unless you have problems with LN1. And I'm pretty surprised that Poland is going for this. Maybe they're gunning for that. The more unorthodox LN patterns that are found in this chart. Maybe
Look,
the trip of Japan in a way.
I'm not a fan of this pick actually. Because if you think of it this way, Poland is in a very dire situation right now. And you would ideally want the picks that are safer for you. I just think that Ellens were more safe for Poland instead of this one. So I'm really not sure what to feel about this pick.
I do agree with you on that. I mean, yeah, sure, Hybrid 1 did go to Japan, but would have gone differently if Vegeta didn't have the issues, didn't have any issues during that play.
But while I do agree with you on that, the difference of Japan and Poland on the LNs is really evident. Even if let's say Poland wins that, I think they would have only won that by a few thousand points and not a convincing win like on the LN that we saw a while ago.
Anyways, we're seeing a full swap here from Japan. Shanakis making their debut in this World Cup. Actually, I think their general World Cup debut, I think. And Insana coming in for this pick in particular. I think Japan might be playing just a bit safely, going for their more LN focused pair. And try to close this one out early. Meanwhile, Poland starting their campaign for a tiebreaker, for a possible tiebreaker, which is going to be a pretty uphill job for them. But they have to start it now.
I mean, think of it this way, they almost beat Poland on, I think that was Rice too. So there's definitely an opportunity for them to take one. That being said, having Shanakis on here is a very interesting method, interesting strategy. I think they really are putting in someone who Poland doesn't really have that much information on. Not to mention, they have a higher rank than Insana right now, so that probably says something.
But again, this is actually pretty early in the chart. There's like a lot of things in this thing that is basically super tricky. There are lots of mini bracket one-hand LNs, and we see Dark Dragon dropping on that stair. It's not going to affect things too much for now, especially with the accuracy differences between these two teams. Chanak is actually below 99% and is slowly dropping accuracy.
Not looking good for Japan right now, but luckily for them, Poland's lead is slowly decreasing. It's giving Poland the benefit that this has a lot of LNs. And these kinds of patterns are the ones that I think Japan would sort of struggle on. Especially with Shanakis getting those tons of 200.
Ooh, the Dark Dragon, Shanakis finding a trade. Shanakis finding yet another miss. One more than maybe they would have liked. And Poland is starting to pull ahead. And Sana and Bagyatka still the only full combos in their respective teams, which is actually super notable. Bagyatka actually carrying the best accuracy while slowly getting down now, unfortunately, with those drops. And I don't think those drops are in a place where you want them to happen.
See, luckily for Poland, Shanakis keeps on dropping 200, so it just really cancels out a lot. That being said though, Insana is matching the Polish side. I don't think it's gonna be more enough though, because even if it's a full combo, the accuracy is just a lot lower than both of the Poland players.
Well, if anything, Poland just needs to take this chart home now, try to limit the mistakes, because, and there you go, Insana finally finding that drop that Poland would think should seal the deal for them and extend this match by one more chart, at least one more chart.
Certainly not over yet.
What are the... Okay. Only two 200s. I mean, two gold 300s. The difference between Baghetti and the Dark Dragon.
Yeah, and like
556, 558. Alright. Same Rainbow 300 cows as well. Like, alright.
It's really an interesting set of scores. Though Japan I think they have one more Rice pick left, which is Rice 4, if I'm not mistaken, or Rice 3. I kind of forgot. Wait, no, it's definitely
It
Rice
should be
4.
Rice 4. It should be Rice 4, yeah. Which is our technical chart here.
Imagine if they go for Ellen. I'm just kidding. Nah, they're going for Rice 4. Of course they're going Rice 4.
Of course they will. And Poland is kind of in a pinch here since I would presume Japan will be getting Rain Lily and Botanic back in as we see now. And Poland needs to be at the very top of their game if they want another extension to this match. On the pick, I'd argue is very favored towards obviously two of the best Rice players in the entire roster.
I don't think it's over yet. Because, like, there's 2 minutes and 41 seconds of this. So that essentially gives Poland a lot of opportunity to strike. However, they need to perform at 100% if Poland really wants to secure. And here we go. Will Poland be able to take a break point back from Japan and hopefully get the tiebreaker if they win their own pick after? Or will Japan seal the deal? Let's see in 2 minutes and 41 seconds of action. Right now.
Relatively tame pattern start this chart, and we're seeing that because both of the teams are pretty much toe-to-toe, but then the chart immediately shifts to a more intense section. Like you're seeing a bit more of these very spread out sweeping stairs. This is why this is our technical pick of this pool. And we're already seeing that accuracy difference. Both Botanic and Ray Lily carrying that 99 point, like high 99.8.
That being said, as long as Poland keeps those full combos, it's certainly not a done deal. Because, man, there's certainly still a chance. Like, there's so much technicalities here. The thing about technical maps is even if you maintain really high accuracy, there's definitely going to be a chance where you make a mistake or two. But luckily right now, no one's still doing it. We have a lot of Grace Notes, a lot of mini jacks being thrown at you.
Oh, the Dark Dragon unfortunately finding a drop. And that is not something Poland wants right now.
Definitely not what they need right now. Japan is actually slowly increasing those accuracies. I have a feeling these graces actually make Japan's performance better, if you think about it.
Well, I won't say anything too much about the Japanese scores. I think this is like kind of what they're expected to do in a round like this. Dr. Dragon unfortunately finding yet another drop, but yet the only full combo left on the Polish side, and with very respectable accuracies across the board. Actually, we have to take note of that. Like, these accuracies are really good. Rain Lily unfortunately finding their first miss of the chart, dropping them to 99.75. But imagine missing it, still getting 99.75. What a wow!
It just goes to show how clean of a miss that was. But then again, the thing about technicalities, your misses tend to be clean because there typically isn't like another note at the same time, but it also could be 30 if you rush. This just goes to show how clean of a control, like their ability to control is really good. Then again, Poland's performance here is actually stellar because they only dropped like 2 misses and their accuracy is still well above the 99 range. In fact, Bagietka holding the other full combo in this match. 99.59 certainly no joke.
Oh, I just saw that 996k from Botanic on this chart. A V1 double S as well.
What?
Alright.
Oh my goodness.
What a way for Japan to win this match. What a way.
What an ending to this match. Just what an insane match for both teams. Like we just can't deny that Poland did an amazing job. Like they almost took a few points off Japan.
They did.
2 more points. They really almost took this tiebreaker, and I gotta be honest with you. That was definitely a scary one for Japan. But either way, both teams did great. Congratulations to Japan for advancing to the quarterfinals of the winners bracket. And for Poland, it's not over yet. There's still the losers bracket, and man, I do not think anyone would want to face Poland. Definitely with how well they faced against one of the top 5 teams in this tournament.
They indeed fared very well against a very formidable team in Japan. Congratulations to them for advancing to the next round. I think we're just waiting confirmation on who their opponent will be next week, and same for Poland. Um, and I think our next match is in 20 minutes, and this is a pretty special one, especially for both of us. The defending champions, the Philippines, I can't believe I'm saying that, is facing Vietnam like in a few uh at 13 UTC. There we go. And
Uh-huh.
I think that's a match that will be dictating the pace on how more of these top like favorites, at least for podium, like how the pecking order will be determined by the end of this weekend.
You know, Sergio, this match is actually who determines the opponent of the quarterfinals. I just realized. Because isn't Japan seed 5 and Philippines seed 4?
Oh yeah. That's a very beautiful match, but I mean, anything could happen. We might see Vietnam winning this. Who knows?
Yeah, that's the thing. But again, whoever is going to be winning against Philippines and Vietnam, they'll be facing the Japanese team. But then again, thank you so much everyone for dropping by. I'm Bulma Gamer Page 76 and commentating with me was Surfshoe85. Thanks so much everyone for stopping by and see you next time.
It slipped right through my fingers. It slipped right through